Meanwhile, the county recently tried to implement more restrictive gun control by hiring a research firm to do a study on gun violence in the county. And the data they hoped to receive kind of backfired on them. Joining us now to further discuss the issue and highlight the work of their organization is Desi Bergman, the program director of NotMESD. Desi, good to see you again.
Good to see you, Jason. Thanks for having me today.
For those who don't know NotMESD, tell us about it.
Sure. So NotMESD is a program that was created for women, by women, and we help women in 3 specific areas. So we help women purchase a firearm, find training, and we also help them get their CCW, or California Concealed Weapons Permit.
Okay. And what is this study that the county did?
So the county recently wanted to implement more gun control in San Diego, so they hired a research firm to conduct a study on gun violence. Now, this research backfired on them as they found out that 29% of gun violence deaths were homicide, while the other 71% were suicides. Now, Jason, the media conducts a very vast picture of what this is by putting a picture of 299 deaths from 2017 to 2021. Of those deaths, 88% were homicides and only 10% were suicides, according to the media's narrative and coverage. Now, Jason, wouldn't it make sense that if 30% of gun violence deaths were homicides, that we'd have the tools to defend ourselves and our loved ones from those violent criminals?
Mm-hmm. I would think so. And the criminals, the guns that they get, they're all on the street, and there are a lot of the ghost guns and things like that. It's serial numbers burned off, things like that.
Criminals do not follow laws, Jason. You know that. They break them. And most of the time, the penalty does not match the crime. Law-abiding citizens like myself who are gun owners, we follow the laws, we train regularly, and we seek education. To me, if they're trying to add more laws and regulations in San Diego County, it's not going to stop these violent criminals from committing these crimes with guns. After all, you cannot legislate crazy, stupid, or evil. And those who have the intent to cause bodily harm are always going to find a way.
You mentioned the CCW. They're easier to get than ever.
Correct.
But tell us about what it takes to get a CCW and how to do it responsibly.
Definitely. So the process to get a CCW is very easy now. They used to require what was called proof of good cause, which is where you would write a statement saying, this is why I need a CCW. That is no longer required because of the Supreme Court decision last year. So to apply for your CCW, you simply go onto the sheriff's website and you submit an application via Permitium. You're going to upload 2 proofs of residency plus your ID, and then you're going to go into the queue. Now, when you go into the queue to get to your first appointment, it is roughly about a year out, but that's because there are so many people applying for their CCW because they understand the nature of having one to be able to carry a gun outside the home. So the process is a lot easier now than it was before. And my organization that I work for, San Diego County Gun Owners, is doing a lot of work to help these individuals apply for their CCW. We offer classes in the different ranges around town. I personally do virtual ones for my ladies about every 2 months, just because we want to educate the public on how to apply for the CCW to break that perception. I don't know how many times I talk to individuals where they say, it's impossible to get a CCW. And it's like, no, it's very easy now. If you can purchase a firearm these days for a background check, you can now get a CCW. It's that easy.
And that's important to note. You got to pass a background check.
Correct.
You got to get training, and there's a class.
Correct.
And then the most important thing, and we've talked about this before, is once you get a CCW, you have your firearm, get to the range and maintain proficiency.
Correct. And Jason, to me, that's one of the scariest things about a CCW holder is those who say, I don't train regularly. I've been in classes before where people are like, yeah, I haven't picked up my gun in 2 years since I actually did my application. No. And this is the thing about having a CCW, Jason, is you can't have one if you're a felon, right? So they automatically have those restrictions in place so that way felons cannot get a firearm. But those of us who train regularly and are very proficient with our firearms, we understand the nature of being able to conceal and carry properly and safely.
Right. Okay, so if somebody wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do it?
Go to notmesd.org, and I'm happy to help.
Notmesd.org. All right, Desi, thanks again.
Thanks, Jason.
Appreciate it.